Hi, I'm Marcy Wansang, BenQ Ambassador, and right behind me is BenQ booth at WPPI 2020. So we are here showcasing the sRGB display to photographers. This is a great opportunity for you guys to come see the display in person. But more than that though, they have also showed up a new display on site here too, and this is the new SL Series display. That's the big display right behind me here. So the usage for this display is going to be different than all the SW line that are meant for photographers for color critical editing. These are more for signage, but there's a lot of great use to it, and I want to share this display more with you. So let's go have a look at it. Right beside me here, this is BenQ new SL Series display. But before I go too much into detail, I got a chance to interview BenQ senior color expert, so I'm going to send you to the interview first, and we'll come back to the trade show floor to take a look at this display a little bit further. So I've just showed you the new BenQ SL display on the trade show floor, and that's the world first Pantone validated display. What I have here with me is Chris, who is a BenQ senior color expert, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about the SL line, because I'm going to give you the specs about the display, but he can tell you a lot more about it. But from what I see, that display is just really impressive.
Right. I think SL is very important because this is the first one of the kind in the market, and the most important part is the first digital signage or the large kind of display is calibrated piece by piece, and it's kind of like 99% of the sRGB, which is pretty good for photography, and you get Pantone validated, so you can make sure your colors will be corrected. And this is very important. And also you have an M-Book mode, which can simulate it with your MacBook, right? So you don't need to worry about your colors being wrong. So I think it's a very important product for this application.
So I think the SL line is a display by BenQ that has a lot of potential. Chris, thank you so much for your time here today.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Now back to Art on the trade show floor. All right, we're back on the trade show floor. Thank you, Interview Art. So let's talk further about the spec of the SL line. SL line comes in 5 different sizes. This is a 43-inch, 55, 65, 75, and 85-inch. All of these models or different sizes will cover 99% sRGB. And as I mentioned before, this is really great because BenQ is known to be first for a lot of things, and we may not talk about this much. I haven't even talked about this much because I'm just finding out about it, but this is the first Pantone validated display. Now, amazingly enough, if you watch my interview with Chris Bai, you will find out that BenQ is actually the company that pushed Pantone to do the certification program, which is really great because BenQ displays are also one of the first displays to be Pantone validated, and that is both the SW and PD line. It makes me proud to be a BenQ ambassador in these times. But anyway, let's go on here. So it's a PID panel. Each individual panel are calibrated from the factory to make sure that they are great color consistency. They're 4K UHD 3840 by 2160, again for those of you keeping track of pixels if you want to know. The max brightness of this display is 500 nits, which is really cool. And the other thing too is that because this is an industrial grade panel, the lifespan of this panel is 50,000 hours. So that may be an arbitrary number to us, but something to keep in mind is that our other BenQ display, the PD line, SW line, are generally rated at about 30,000 hours. So you are getting a longer lifespan out of this. Again, these are meant literally to be digital signage to be showed in malls and so forth, where they're literally on for more than 12 hours a day. So that's just something to think about there. This can be in landscape mode like this, and I will show you later on in portrait mode when we're actually doing a live shoot. You can see that once I'm shooting here, I can show the picture of a model right away. It's running Android 8.0 with 4 gigs of memory and 32 gigabytes of storage. So essentially it's like a very large cell phone without the cell signal, and you definitely don't want to be putting this up to your ears and trying to hold it as a phone. It would be funny, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. But a couple other things that are really impressive about this display is the color modes that come with it. So BenQ displays all ship with color mode, but this display also shipped with a lot of unique color mode. There's cinema photo mode, but the mode that I think are going to be really interesting and for most photographers out there and anybody doing creative professional is M-Book color mode. So in their M-Book color mode, they have tweaked this display color to match with any Apple built-in display. This way, if you're plugging an Apple product, if using Apple product, will match perfectly right away. Now, something to keep in mind too is that if you are PC users and majority of your clients are actually Mac users, what you can do is plug in your PC, set it to M-Book, It won't match for your laptop, but this color will simulate much closer to what your clients will be seeing on their machine. And lastly, it also has a Pantone color mode. And these are color modes specifically tuned to match the Pantone swatches. And if you guys are using Pantone, this is going to be a fantastic display to proof the sign work on here. A couple of other things I need to mention here is that it has USB plug and play. It is integrated with CMS Content Management System, or Xsign by BenQ, and it has like a few templates gallery that you can use. But more important than that though, the moment I see this display, a couple of things. My impression of it is that this looks absolutely amazing, and this is uncalibrated. This is pretty much directly taking a signal from my laptop as an M-Book mode. I haven't even touched any calibration, any color setting. This is the way how it looks right now. So it looks absolutely fantastic right out of the box. But if you are a creative professional, let's talk about some scenarios that you can put in. So for instance, if you are a photographer, if you're a wedding photographer, portrait photographer, you do sales in studio, this will be a much better display to use than your HD high definition TV that you're gonna get. And part of that is because the color is great. It's 99% sRGB. If you ever noticed before when you plug in your laptop or your computer signal into your high definition display, they get washed out. This one doesn't happen to be that way. It has auto connectivity, it has DisplayPort. I mean, this is really cool. HDMI and all the other ports you can think about too. So that would be one scenario. Another scenario would be, for instance, if you're in the studio, if you're doing headshots and you want your clients to see what they look like right away. This is a great way to show them a proof of what you're photographing immediately so they can see themselves almost in life size on a display. Lastly, if you're a commercial photographer, if you're in a design environment, that's perfectly fine. You can choose something, have the signal from your camera or your laptop piped to this display in a lounge somewhere where the creative directors and their creative team can view the pictures. The other thing too is because of Pantone mode support, you can shoot something that is referencing a Pantone color and have them see exactly how the color is going to come out. No more excuses, no more saying, well, the color is going to look correctly when we go to print or whatever, because this display is Pantone validated. So this is BenQ brand new SL line display, which I think has a lot of great potential for creative professional like us. I'm looking forward to getting one into my studio to do some testing. But before we get to that, make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to my channel if you're new, hit on the notification bell so you'll be updated every time I upload new videos and also videos about the SL line display. And until next time, ArtIsRight.